it is essential that you bear fruit if you're going to get your prayers answered. This is something you don't hear too much preach. Most people just say, just ask, and it doesn't really matter because everything's done by grace, and as long as you believe, then God's going to answer your prayers. Well, this is not actually what Jesus taught. Here in John chapter 15, verse 16, listen to what Jesus says. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you might go and bear fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command, love each other. You see, Jesus is telling you that you have to walk in unison with him. You have to walk in obedience to him. You have to abide in the vine. And as you abide in the vine, then his grace starts to flow through you, and you start to bear fruit that will last. What kind of fruit? Well, how about winning souls? How about bringing people to Christ? How about the fruits of the Spirit? He already mentions the first one. How about loving each other? See, if you're not walking in love toward others, and you're being mean and rude and disobedient and unforgiving, you really think you can just ask God for whatever you want, he's going to give it to you? Not according to what Jesus says. He says you have to bear fruit that will last. So I believe in bearing the fruit of the Spirit, love and joy. You can't be walking around being depressed and just think you can just ask God, where's the joy of the Lord in your life? And then he talks about peace. You can't be walking around worried and nervous about your life, and yet you think God's going to answer your prayers? Or how about being patient and kind and good and faithful and self-control? And above all, how about showing meekness and humility? You see, God wants to answer your prayers, but getting prayers answered isn't just like, you're rubbing a genie bottle and God's just going to appear and then answer your prayer. It's about a relationship with God. See, so answered prayer is based on a real deep relationship you have with God, where you're walking with him, you're letting his life flow through you, and you're bearing fruit that lasts, not fruit that is just there for a little bit and then disappears, but fruit that will last. And friend, when you bear fruit that will last, then your prayers are going to get answered. There was a blind man that Jesus healed, and he said something to the Pharisees. He says, we know that God does not hear and answer prayer except from the one who is obedient to God. What wisdom that he showed. And how about you? Do you not realize that your obedience to God, especially the obedience of walking in love, is essential for your prayers to be answered?